Good evening, Bloomington fans. We are coming to you from the chilly Bloomington Ice Gardens, where tonight your Jefferson JV squad will be taking on the Denver Broncos / Hopkins Park Royals. An important matchup for the Jefferson squad. Hopkins Park was who bounced the varsity team out of the playoffs last year, and the varsity game, which will immediately follow here, will go a long way towards determining potential seeding come this year's playoffs. But JV game comes first. Back with me again is Johnny Rash. New on his maiden voyage on the camera, John Woodford. Broke his maiden voyage with the broadcast team last Tuesday, which led to his daughter scoring 4 goals. So we'll see how much of that rookie luck carries over tonight. If you get motion sick on the broadcast here, you can text John Woodford. We'll get his number for you a little bit later. So John, coming off a big win, Jefferson last Tuesday in a competitive JV matchup with Chaska-Chan, which we will have a repeat matchup here on Saturday at noon.
Indeed, Ryan, and great to join you, and great to be joined by John and Kurt tonight, and a big shout out to Jason, the other member of our crew who is out in Colorado right now. Hope he's having a great time. We may have as much snow as he has out there the last week or so, but just to clear up any confusion, we played Chaska-Chan for the JV game because the varsity game, which was against New Prague, that club no longer has a JV squad, so we played them to make up for the 2 games we're missing against them because they're a conference opponent. We'll play them again Saturday. We'll be bringing you that broadcast, but first bringing you both the JV and the varsity games against the Hopkins Park Royals. And you mentioned the numbers, and they look regal indeed. They have the 2 colors of the 2 schools, the blue for Hopkins and the orange for St. Louis Park. Combination of those 2 teams ready to drop the puck here in JV. Skating out to take the goaltending duties tonight is number 42, Megan DeLarwell. Just about ready for puck drop, Taylor Keith at the faceoff circle.
Keith wins that draw back, but Hopkins turns it over, enters the offensive zone, initial shot, pad save into the corner. Bloomington gets it to the blue line, but Hopkins Park dumps it in deep. Breakout, that gets around, but that's probably going to go, nope, it dies before it gets to icing. Keith with an aggressive forecheck. She has Tyus with her. And DeVos, the third forward on this line pairing. Turnover, DeVos has got it. She nets one. Unassisted. Not 30 seconds into the game there, John. We saw DeVos scored in the last game, was initially stymied on her first scoring opportunity. You can see the frustration. She doesn't miss this time around.
Boy, oh boy. You know, the face-off happened, and St. Louis Park Hopkins was able to get control of it, came right down in our offensive zone. A nice quick pad save on kind of a snapshot by Megan DeLarwell. We brought it right down. As you mentioned, it didn't go for icing. That made all the difference. Picked up by Megan DeVos. 1 shot, 1 goal. Jaguars up 1-0.
Off the draw, Jefferson carried it into the zone, lost control temporarily, but now they're forechecking for at least the 2nd game in a row. We have Towie centering, I think looks like first, and Moore. I think that's the same forward lines as we had on Tuesday, John. So we'll see if we get some continuity here. They performed really well Tuesday. Hopefully
Indeed,
we see a
repeat
repeat
tonight.
tonight.
Settling in and where they know each other are and helpful in terms of passing, and that's what they're looking to do here, but broken up by St. Louis Park and cleared. Jaguars try to get back, keep it from being an offensive opportunity for the Royals.
That was DeVos covering at the blue line, went D to D. Turned over though. Hopkins couldn't get a shot off. That was broken up by Mendel. She tries to go along the sidewall. DeVos fighting for it along with Keith. Goes into the corner. Mendel goes behind the net. Keith gives chase. She tries to get up to Tyus. Hits traffic. on the sidewall. Hopkins comes away with it. Tried to make a move, but lost it into the corner. Schramm
Extended
trying to
offensive time here for Hopkins.
It has. Jefferson struggling to get it out of the zone. Mendel banks it off the wall, trying to get it to DeVos. Mendel again, that hits traffic. And Park comes back. Jefferson unable to get a change. That shot saved, but the puck's loose in front. Schramm did a good job of tying up the forward.
Nice save by Megan there. And she's had 2 sharp shots she's had to handle and done them both well.
Jefferson finally able to just ice it after an extended stretch. Badly in need of a change. We'll get 5 fresh out there. Only 1 shot on that extended run. It was a good one, though.
Well, you know, Ryan, I had mentioned that Hopkins Park had won the face-off, brought it into our offensive zone, and we thought, okay, here they are in business. We came right down after having gotten control of the puck and scored, but Hopkins has had it for a bit here. And
right off the draw
enough,
there, we could see that we had a perfect angle, John. I think the goalie had a little bit of a screen. That draw one back, shot just inside the near side post, about kneecap high. And I don't think DeLarwell really reacted like she saw it until it was too late.
There was a lot of traffic in front of her, Jaguars and Royals, so she probably indeed was screened because she certainly has been on the other shots. But that leaves us with a 1-1 tie here. St. Louis Park with the lead in shots, 3-1, 12-19 remaining here in the first.
The importance of winning those face-offs, John, right? I mean, that was just a clean win back. Player was positioned right where the puck came. Quick shot through traffic. We'll see if that's a harbinger of things to come here.
Well, you're right, and of course, as mentioned, you know, she won that quick face-off, puck drawn back, and then there were 8 players in front of Megan DeLarwell. So, you know, it's an opportune time to shot if you can do it that quick. They were able to tie the game here.
Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Feldman goes across to Marshall. Marshall just had a shot about 5 seconds ago that went wide, but turned over at the red line, enters the zone, tried to dance around into the slot, lost the puck, however. Another attempt to get into the slot. Number 36 here from the other team finally rips a shot, a good one. Saved with a shoulder pad there. Dropped down into the glove. We'll get another defensive zone draw.
3 solid saves by Megan DeLarwell so far tonight, and 1 low on the pad and a couple high, and she's been equal to them. Jags are going to try and win this face-off here and get a clear, which has been a little bit of a challenge so far, but and so far it remains so on this exchange as well.
That draw, Jefferson pseudo won it. It came to the side. Lindman got there first, but couldn't get it out of the zone. This time she's taking her time looking for a pass. Went off a Keith's skate. Turned back in front again. DeVos going to try to poke that out. Fortunately for Jefferson, it comes across the blue line. That pass attempt misses. Lindman, though, has trouble handling it. Kind of seems like both teams trying to wake up here a little bit, John. Pucks are bouncing off of sticks. Passes aren't quite connecting for either team. Just a lot of back and forth turnovers in traffic.
And what I also noticed, Ryan, is some very aggressive forechecking by St. Louis Park Hopkins. Another nice high shot, another nice save, and covered by Megan DeLarwell. She's on her game so far.
Hopkins' early shots here, John, have all been high. I don't know if that's just by chance. I mean, we've had 5 shots. Seems like all of them have been off the ice. I don't know if that's being like instructed or coached, test out the goalie's ability to cover the top half of the net early.
Well, part of it, several of them have come from near the blue line, and so they're probably trying to avoid some, it getting blocked in front by some traffic, and they've been able to get the pucks through, but save, except for the one, Megan's been able to save 4 of them here. So 1-1, 10 minutes remaining here in the first period.
So 5 minutes in, after a very quick goal off the first shot, Jefferson's been outshot 5-0. And for the most part, Hopkins has carried play here in their offensive zone. Jefferson, good pass there, cross ice, finds more. Tries to get it ahead to Towie, but it's turned back. Again to the neutral zone. Forward line's going to change. Lindman out there with Schramm now. Hopkins enters the zone, circles. Going to regroup. Another high shot. That looked like it hit traffic, didn't get through. Schramm carrying it now. Gets it ahead to DeVos, then to Keith. But again, turn back. Lindman's in need of a change. She's been stuck out there for a stretch here. She gets it to Tyus. Tyus tries to get it to Keith. That gets redirected. DeVos tried to pass it back to Schramm, missed on that. Schramm's going to chase into the corner, behind the net. Gets around the first defender, tries to get it ahead to Keith, just out of her reach, but Keith pokes it free anyway. She and Tyus are up. Keith couldn't quite block that clearing attempt. Hopkins goes D to D, looking cross ice. Miss on that. Mendel's got it. Spots Keith. Keith tries to just dump it in deep, get a forward line change.
Been a while since we've had a whistle here. You know, it's equally challenging for each team because each team only has 7 players on the bench here, but they're going to have to scramble to get a change. Jaguars successfully just did that, Ryan.
It has been a very clean game, you're right, John, and then we jinxed it. Here's an icing whistle. Most of our face-offs have been off of shots covered up. I'm noticing credit to the Hopkins Park Royals here. They're taking their time looking for passes, John, instead of like sort of blindly throwing it up ice or skating. They're trying to move the puck, in particular, through the neutral zone. And
even though the only aforementioned 7 players on the bench, this line with 36 and 38, 36 Enslin for Hopkins Park seems to be their strongest. They seem to be getting the most ice time, and they're really been connecting on passes and some aggressive play, as we see here, as they bring it into the offensive zone.
Hopkins manages to muscle that one into the offensive zone. They try to throw it behind the net, but turned it over. Some physical play along the sideboards here. Moore on the forecheck. Now Towie picks it up, almost picked that pocket. Finally forces a turnover. Schramm trying to get it ahead to Moore. They're tied up on the sidewall. Schramm tries to dig it loose, pokes it ahead, comes across the first, tried to go cross ice, that got intercepted. She's content now to just backhand it deep into the zone. Keith forcing it down, new forward line out. Hopkins cycles, that pass is poked loose by Keith. Marshall trying to get it back to Keith, didn't have enough angle on it. Comes to DeVos. She tries to poke it ahead, but turns it over. Stays after it. Hopkins throws it far side. If that makes it, that'll be icing. And about halfway through period 1 here, we're still tied 1-1. But after that early shot goal by Jefferson, we have yet to register another shot here, John.
Indeed, the ice has been tilted in St. Louis Park's favor. But to the favor of the Jaguars has been the solid play of Megan DeLarwell, who's stopped 5 of the 6 shots she has faced. Jaguars looking to get back in business here, and a nice sharp shot by Elise Tyus, as usual, with her nose for the net. Right in front, turns around, spins, as you and I, Ryan, have spoken many times, just to really good at tipping and backhand, but that one was just a straight shot in front of the net, but swallowed up by the Park goaltender.
Won that draw back to the point. Marshall's shot, though, hit traffic. Feldman then tried a slap shot. That also hit traffic. Keith comes away with it, however. Goes back to Marshall, holds the zone. Oh, blind D to D pass. That was dangerous, but Feldman manages to keep it in. Loose in front there for a second. Here comes Hopkins the other way.
Good
Marshall's back.
Yep.
Angles the Hopkins player to the sidewall. She waits for reinforcements. Hopkins misses on that pass, but picks it up at the red line. Off of Keith's skate. Keith dumps it in. That is going to buy the team a chance to get 5 fresh skaters out, hopefully. 4 at least. Feldman stayed out to play it safe. Janzig De La Luz, fresh on the ice. She goes cross ice to first. First's got some room. She's going to throw it just behind the net. Moore's going to get to that puck first. On her backhand, she tries to keep it low. Kicks it free to first. First back to the point. Janzig De La Luz towards the net. That hit a skate, deflected into the corner. First centering pass, but nobody there. And here comes Hopkins Park breaking out the other way, 2-on-2. 36 we've seen try to dance through traffic. This time she passes over to 23. They swing it around. First ends up clearing it. If that's got enough juice, that's going to be an icing call, and it is.
a judicious icing there because some pressure in the Jaguar end, but indicative of how a lot of this period is gone. Again, shots are 6-2 with that nice sharp shot by Elise Tyus that the Hopkins Park goaltender was able to handle here. Face off to Megan DeLarwell's right, handled and taken by the Jags.
Off the draw, Towie clears it. She gets it ahead to first. First with some speed, trying to get around that. Well played defensively by both of those Park defensemen. Disrupted both the carrier and the person who was coming in on the far side post. Moore behind the net, fighting for it. It comes loose. Towie tried to get it to, or that's Towie in front of the net. That was DeVos trying to get it to her. Comes back to Jansen Deluz with a good one-timer there. Hard shot low, deflected wide. Hopkins gets it across the blue line. Lindman tries to get it clear. Ooh, that's going to be a penalty, but a smart takedown anyway.
It was a smart takedown because that was going to be a point-blank shot there, but the Jags will be going on the penalty kill here, and we'll see what they call her, if it's a hook or interference here. They gave her a hook indeed.
Gave her a hook, yeah.
Yeah, Megan DeVos.
DeVos prevented, though. There was sort of a secondary break there. They had a 2-on-1 opportunity. The Hopkins player was trying to feed it to their counterpart through the slot. DeVos trying to break that up, just happened to hook her down. So first power play of the game. We've got First and Tyus out there killing, at least for the start of this. Mendel and Schramm on the blue line. First shot from the side wall. That's saved and held. We'll get a new draw, 15 seconds off the clock.
Good positioning by Megan there. Anticipated where it didn't give any quarter on the inside there, and is able to stop and cover. Great job.
That draw, one back to the blue line. Mendel almost forces a turnover. That shot blocked by Tyus. Tyus manages to clear the zone. First
Nice
is going to
play by
go
her
for
to-
a change. Tyus on the forecheck. Aggressive, pokes it away. She carries it behind the net. Tries to get it out front. She's 1-on-4 here. Content to just kill time. Schramm pinches in, dumps it deep again. Tyus will go for a change. Moore's out there now with Keith. Mendel holds the zone, loses it there though. Hopkins trying to come the other way. Keith's attempt at a steal, misses. Hopkins going to dump this in. They get power play unit 2 out. We're halfway through, 1 minute gone. Schramm carries it, but she's on her backhand. Trying to just keep it along the sidewall. Tries to go off the glass. Comes to the blue line. Carried in. Close shot. That hit Keith. Moore's clearing attempt. Bounced over the stick. Mendel gives chase in the corner. Keith's on it, but Park comes away with it. Point blank range. That shot fired wide. Moore gives chase. She's going to have an opportunity here. She's all alone. Good back check by Park. Point blank shot. Right in the breadbasket there, though, John.
Nice save by the Park goalie, but really nice hustle, shorthanded by Allie Moore to get an opportunity to kill some time off the penalty kill clock and to force a face-off to the Park goaltender's left. So far, a very effective penalty kill by the Jaguars. Certainly, Park has had some opportunities. They've had one shot, but so have the Jaguars during this penalty. Only 18 seconds remaining.
Guaranteed Allie's going to think back on that and wish she'd either made a move. I don't think she probably knew how much space she had, John. I think once she was kind of surprised that breakaway sort of lucked upon her.
Especially shorthanded. That doesn't happen too often,
And she's extremely fast, so she doesn't need a whole lot of space, but she had it. Out of the box, DeVos immediately gets the puck deep. Turned back by Hopkins. But Allie Moore with a good back check, breaks that up, slows down the rush. Ends up at the blue line. Towie kicks it free, but she's been out there on the penalty kill. She's a little gassed. 4 checks anyway, lets some fresh skaters. Forces a turnover. DeVos has got it in front. Backhand comes to Feldman. Feldman's slap shot attempt missed on the first. Ended up backhanding it deep. Tyus trying to break it up. That's cleared down. I don't know if that's going to get there, John. They get to that puck first, trying to get it in front. Puck was sort of rolling on the Hopkins player. And that shot attempt still on the ground. Good job breaking that up by Keith.
And a nice save by Megan. And we were talking about how many high shots. That was a low one. She had to drop down quick and was equal to it. So saved the goal there. Shot
I feel like every game, John, we're complimenting Taylor Keith on her two-way play.
Yes.
She made another big play there. That was on a rebound. It was about to be tucked away, and she got her stick in there to poke that puck free. She's been doing that all year, John.
Some of our viewers may remember last year she played defense and offense. It seemed to alternate between the two, and that certainly has been paying off this year in her two-way play.
Good pass by Keith there. Finds first. First enters the zone. Drop pass to Moore. Moore's shot, same as the last one. Trying to break that neck protector on the goalie, I think, John. We got exactly 1 minute left in period one. Jefferson rebounding a little bit after sort of a tough first 5 minutes. They've cut the shot deficit in half, now 8-4 in favor of Hopkins.
Ashley Towie to take the face off here and is able to kick it back successfully. Nice job by her. But
that shot attempt by Lindman hit his shin guard. Lindman does a decent enough job to slow down the Hopkins player, preventing a breakaway. The first shot attempt went wide. Second one again off that shoulder. Man, they are consistently shooting high, John.
Really nice job by Megan DeLarwell. The first shot, she got a glove on it. Wasn't able to snag it. The second shot, she's able to knock down up kind of high on her chest and then able to pounce on it. So terrific 2 saves there, but she's got a face-off to her right.
I'm seeing some reinforcements ready to enter the rink here for Hopkins for period 2, John.
We'll have to keep our eyes out a little bit and see if we see those players in the varsity game as well. And as you
Although now that I'm looking, there's
yeah.
only 4 on the bench for Hopkins. You had noted earlier,
Yes.
I think there was 7.
Right, so they might be swapping some players out.
Maybe they snuck out the back door. Jefferson, though, with the last 15 seconds, good centering pass by Towie. Had DeVos in front. I don't think DeVos was expecting that to make it through. But good vision by Towie. There's Hopkins with a centering pass. It's loose in front. Puck's still loose. Good hustle by Lindman, poking that away.
Well, you got to play all the way to the buzzer because there was literally a second left, and that was sitting right in front of the net. And as you say, good hustle by Annabelle Lindman. A really good period by Megan DeLarwell. She makes 9 saves, allows 1 goal. The Hopkins Park goaltender made 3 saves, allowing 1 goal. 1-1. Players will take a well-deserved break. Weren't too many whistles in that period.
No,
Ryan.
That was a fairly quick quick first period. We only had, I think, the 1 penalty. It wasn't the smoothest period to start there, though, John.
No.
A little bit of a feeling out at the beginning. A lot of turnovers, sort of just pucks being batted around center ice. Kind of picked up, though, as the first period progressed. Both teams started connecting a little better, getting more shots.
So
Shots
Megan
now
DeVos
10-4.
got the goal for that period. If you remember, that was right at the beginning of the game.
First shot, 30 seconds in.
And it was an unassisted goal, so just 1.
Off a turnover.
Yeah, exactly. Point awarded for that one, but Jaguars will certainly try to regroup here and take, as we said, a well-deserved break here. And, of course, we go into the long change period. We don't ice in between first and second periods during the JV games here, so same advantage or disadvantage for each squad. So we'll be seeing the Park goaltender go to our left here, but some really pretty solid play there by the Jaguars. And you made the point, Ryan, that Park seemed to dominate in the beginning and especially in the middle. Jaguars found their footing or their skates much better and stronger in the last 6-7 minutes of the period there. So even though the shots don't necessarily reflect it, it's a relatively even game.
I'll be interested to see if 36 is still out here for period 2, John. She seemed to be the at least the forward skater for Hopkins Park here that sort of stood out to me. She generated quite a few chances. She was trying to make moves as she entered the zone to get to the slot. The D did a good job breaking it up oftentimes, but I bet you she still had a handful of shots and dangerous ones in that first period.
I mentioned her as well, and her line mate, number 38, and they were the straws that stirred the drink out here for sure. And even though they're short-benched as the Jaguars generally are, they seem to get a lot of ice time earlier. So 38 appears to perhaps still be on the ice. I don't see 36, but she might be sitting on the bench getting a well-deserved rest, so we'll have to see what happens here. And Hopkins Park has 2 goaltenders on their bench. No sign yet that they're going to change, although certainly some teams, including occasionally the Jaguars, change about halfway through the second period. But in relatively recent games, it's been either Annika or Megan for the Jaguars playing the whole game.
Yeah, I think to start the year, they started out splitting game times half and half, but at the tail end, or the last few games, they've been going singular all game.
Absolutely. So we're gonna start the second period.
Yeah. They don't have a break. Where does the BEC cameras come?
We're joined here by former school board member Jim Solomon, and he's asking about the BEC cameras. I'm not sure they're going to do the game tonight, but when they do come, Jim and viewers here, they set up right where we're set up. So we will yield to the BEC team if they're here, but I don't think they're going to do this game here. So we'll be bringing you the varsity game here, an important one, as Ryan had mentioned, but of course this JV one just as important to the squad that's out there, and certainly important to our goalie, Megan Delarwell, who makes yet another nice save. 10 saves for her so far on 11 shots.
Right off that initial draw, Hopkins took that face-off down, got a tough angle shot. Keith's going to try to win this one in the defensive zone. She does, wins it to the sidewall. DeVos is going to come away with it, but poked away. Good poke check there by the Park D.
Well, answering a quick question that you smartly asked, number 36, Enslin, is out there for Park. She's looking to back check here, but Elise Tyus looking to beat her down there, bringing the puck down low.
Oh, good centering pass. Keith was out front. DeVos tried to find her, but intercepted. And here comes the aforementioned 36. Another hard shot, excellent save, no rebound given up, which was important. That was a 2-on-1. The Hopkins player on the far side looking for a rebound. Jefferson will get a full change here, or I guess just the forward line.
And it appears 36 and 38, who have been the standout players so far for Park, are now on separate lines. Number 38 is out there as the winger looking to, as Hopkins wins the face-off in the Jaguars' defensive zone.
Hopkins working it at the blue line. I'll say they're the D for Hopkins too, John, seems very comfortable being aggressive forecheck and a lot of confidence in their ability, and they've got some speed.
They do. And you mentioned before, Ryan, they seem to take their time, the whole team, in terms of not rushing into dumping the puck or to the immediate quick pass, trying to get a better view of the entire ice, and just make sure where not only their mates are, but where the Jags are. And it's been effective. They have 12 shots so far compared to the Jags 4.
So off of that draw, Towey wins it to the near side wall, but I don't think Jefferson had anybody over there that time. So it's held in at least temporarily. Schramm's got it behind the net, looking for an outlet pass. Gets it to Moore. Again, an aggressive pinch, but they get it around it. Maybe a 2-on-1 opportunity here. Towey brings it up the far side wall. She tries to power to the front of the net. Gets forced behind another good defensive play by Hopkins. Towey dumps it back deep. Hopkins retrieves. Good bank pass off the wall, but it's going to be held in by Schramm. She throws it deep. First out there now. Pressures the puck. Moore, after they go to D, forces a turn. Oh, another turn. Again, these Hopkins D are very comfortable handling the puck, John. They're not rattled at all.
Not at all, and that's partly why they have had a 3-to-1 ratio in terms of shots so far. But Jaguars trying to catch up onto that. Brought down low by Allie Moore. She goes out for a well-deserved change. Jaguars give chase.
Hopkins makes a move, breaks out, goes cross ice, connects on that pass. Marshall's back though, forces it wide. Keith tries to turn it over. Her and Tyus battle with it. Tyus going to come away with it. It's got DeVos with her. But strong back check by Hopkins.
And the aforementioned D right there coming forward and pinching a bit and kicking it back towards their Jaguars offensive or defensive zone.
Marshall breaks up that centering pass, but Hopkins still possesses. They're trying to get it behind the net. Keith rings the boards. Tyus going to try to clear the zone, but it's dumped in deep. Hopkins behind the net, centering pass, backhand in front.
Nice
Good
save.
pad save by DeLarwell. D to D up top. That shot gets through traffic. Hit a stick, almost got batted out of the air, John, but just went a little wide. Clearing attempt finds Tyus. Tyus tries to, looks almost like trying to throw that on net, but content to just take the icing and get a fresh 5 out.
Can't say enough how strong Megan DeLarwell is playing tonight. And it was a really good pad save. And then the puck kicked in front of a relatively open net and somehow didn't go in fortuitously for the Jaguars there. Certainly some help from her D, and she's going to need it again because she has a face-off right to her left.
Hopkins Park again carrying play here to start the second period. They've got 3 shots. Jefferson yet to register one in the second period. At center ice, First is going to enter the zone with some speed. Tries to drop it to Moore, but couldn't handle it with her skates. Ends up forced into the corner. She tries to carry it behind the net, loses it. Comes out to Janzik De La Luz. She backhands it in, but that's going to get picked up and dumped deep. That should be icing if it makes it. I'll tell you, John, we've credited the Jefferson JV team with speed all season. This Hopkins Park team can match up, and we have not seen that typically. They've got skaters.
Well, if you remember also in the playoff game that we had last year and unfortunately lost by a goal to them, we saw a lot of speed by the varsity team there, so we'll see if that carries into their varsity squad. Of course, the Jag team has their share of Roadrunners as well, so hopefully we can match them there. But their JV squad looking very strong. And at times
Now he's centering pass to First. Sharp shot by First. Pad save into the corner. Hopkins trying to clear it on the near side wall. Janzik De La Luz pinches. Moore holds it temporarily. Janzik De La Luz dumps that behind the net. First on it again. Pressuring the puck with Keith now. She drops it back to Lindman. Lindman gets it in front of the net. First playing really strong here. She's getting muscled and tied up. Or that was Moore, I guess. First tried to get it to Moore. Behind the net. Hopkins taking their time, setting it up. Here's an outlet pass to the near side wall. They go cross ice. Tipped out to the red line. Puck race. Lindman does enough to at least prevent the Hopkins player from carrying it. Jefferson in need of a change here. First just gets it to Keith. Good job using her glove to bat that down. She hits the ice but manages to poke it across ice anyway.
Really tough hustle play right there by Taylor Keith there. Skating to the ice for a well-deserved, or to the bench for a well-deserved break here. Although she might stay back on the ice, so great job by her.
That was a good stretch of offensive zone time for Jefferson there, John, but still only 1 shot out of all that. A really good one by First in front, but shots appear to be hard to come by this game.
And again, it's the D that you have mentioned a couple times for Hopkins Park, which is making that difficult here as Hopkins Park tries to break out again here. Jaguars will try to back check.
Schramm forces wide and then blocks that shot into the corner. DeVos tried to pick it up, but ends up with Mendel. She's going to go cross ice to Keith. Keith gets it across the blue line. Nice work. DeVos giving chase, but it's dumped back in. No icing. Schramm retrieves. Behind the net. Gets it to Keith. Keith with a good one-touch. Oh, if DeVos had Tyus with her, just trying to poke it across. Another good toe save there by DeLarwell. Mendel tries to get ahead, but man, we cannot get it out of the zone. These blue liners are just holding it in. We got a Hopkins player down at center ice. Hops back up. Got to get it out. Kicked out finally by Tyus. DeVos and Keith go for a change. Need to get this deep. The blue liners have been out there for a while, John. Here comes Mendel skating with it. Finds Towie. Towie carries it into the zone. Cuts to the middle. Nice move. Drops it back. That shot from the blue line gets through. First was there, but Hopkins Park goaltender did a good job smothering it. Good drop pass by Towie. Good shot by Mendel.
Almost a rebound opportunity, and Hopkins goaltender trying to get a glove on it. She indeed did, but that's just a rare offensive opportunity this period so far. Just 2 shots so far for the Jags, but they're hanging in there with this 1-1 tie.
Off the draw, Hopkins manages to clear the zone. Mendel's going to get that. I'm guessing dump it in deep. That hit traffic and went off the inside of the bench. So we'll get an offensive zone draw, saying that tipped off of a Hopkins stick.
A little bit of advantage for the Jaguars here. And speaking of advantage, and we certainly don't want to jinx anything here, but only 1 penalty on the Jags so far, none on the Royals. So we've only had 2 minutes of penalty kill. It was successful by the Jags, but that's partly why this game seems to be flying along. 8:33 remaining here in the second.
Hopkins Park loses it behind the net. No penalty there, Jen. That was a lot of stick work from 23. Almost turned over again, but here comes Hopkins. They enter the offensive zone. Poked away by Schramm. Mendel backhands it to Moore. Moore along the wall, just bats it to the blue line, but not out. Towie helping out. Schramm there. Schramm gets turned back. She's going to go behind the net. Again, some stick work, John. They're letting it go, though. They find First. First goes cross ice to Moore. Moore can't get there, though. Turns it over. That should be an offside. Yep. There we go.
Seems like they're trying to get it to Enslin, number 36. She looks a little frustrated that over the offside, skating to the bench here. We'll have a face-off just outside the Jaguars' defensive zone here. Taking the face-off will be DeVos for the Jaguars here, flanked by Taylor Keith and Elise Caius.
Draw won by Hopkins. They go D to D. They're looking to set it up. Going to skate it in now. They get past the first line of forwards. Carried into the corner. That shot hit the side of the net. DeVos is going to retrieve. Gets it to Tyus. Oh, Tyus can't quite handle it, but clears the zone anyway. Keith forces the turnover. He's going to pick that up. Carries it into the corner. Comes to a stop. Loses it temporarily. Tyus out there trying to help her. Comes back just out of the reach of Feldman. Feldman retrieves. She's going to slingshot around the net. Gets it ahead to DeVos. DeVos goes cross ice to Keith. Keith poked it ahead, but just the Hopkins defense, I think coming off a change, just got there ahead of her. I think both Keith and Tyus were just desperately in need of a change there, John.
Taylor Keith, we talked about her hustle before, showed it there in terms of 2 potential breakaways. She did a Superman dive to try to save it the last time, but just went past her.
This might be one of those games where it's this competitive, John, and the other team can skate with. The team so far this year has done a really good job rolling with just 2 forward lines and holding up stamina-wise. This is a little tougher test because it's a lot more back and forth, up and down.
Sure is. A lot of 200-foot skating here. 6:40 remaining in the second here. Ice looking a little bit chopped up as it normally gets in the second period without the clear. Jaguars are equal to it, though, so far, but here comes Hopkins once again.
Hopkins gets around Janzik De La Luz. They swing behind the net. Rough angle. That hits traffic. But in front, trying to battle for it. Moore manages to force it out of the zone. Hopkins comes the other way. They dump it in. Lindman's going to retrieve. Oh, there's going to be a penalty on Moore. So I didn't see that,
like
but
I'm
guessing that was a retaliation, here. John, because she got smeared against the glass here when she was forcing it across the blue line. Yeah, you can see the annoyance on her face.
Well, and indeed, it was called a slash here. So the Jags go back on the penalty kill for 2 minutes. In the first period, they had the same situation. Really well played. In fact, they even got an offensive opportunity, if you remember. So they're going to try and kill this off here. Taking the face-off will be DeVos, and Elise Tyus tries to pick it up here. So falling back, but making a nice save is Megan Delarwell, as Hopkins got a nice sharp shot and then got right up too little too close to
it. Slot.
Absolutely, yeah. So just 5 seconds into the power play, there's only 7 seconds that's come off here at this point. So Jags have their workout cut out for them, but a very nice clear there by Janzik de la Luz.
Tyus gives chase, loses that puck race, but stays after it. Forces Hopkins back behind the net. Here they break out, but that's going to be a turnover. Tyus tries to get it in deep. DeVos also on the forecheck. Schramm now throws it all the way up. Poked out. Tyus dumps it right back behind the net. She's smartly going to go for a change. DeVos on the forecheck. Here's because Hopkins parked the other way. Enter the zone, patient. Cuts right to the top, 36 again, going for the upper corner. I think Delarwell got a piece of that with her glove.
Second time she's done it successfully and pushed it to the corner. So nice job by Megan on a nice sharp shot. Here's another one.
Whoa,
that one she did.
That one was a clear snag.
Yeah, very, very nice. Boy,
on the
well
17th shot of the game, John.
16
Delarwell on point.
Absolutely. And Hopkins looking to test her again. They still have 56 seconds remaining in their power play. So far, a successful kill by the Jags as they again had in the first period.
Ooh, that shot was destined for the upper corner. Blocker save into the corner. Tied up on the sidewall. First trying to dig it out. Comes free. Oh, on the backhand though. Can't get it out. Really aggressive power play. Finally cleared. Nice job by Mendel all the way around there. That comes all the way down. Goalie plays it out. Prevents Jefferson from getting new forwards out there by the goalie coming out to play that. First again with a turnover. Kicks it ahead to Keith. Keith's got it. Tries to slide one on. That's a good shot from Keith. Tough angle. Quick release.
Again, like the first penalty kill, got an offensive opportunity out of it, so that's great. And Taylor Keith keeps up the pressure.
Keith forces another turnover.
Jaguars back in full
out of the
strength
box
here.
And right into the play.
Gets knocked down. That's one they theoretically could have called. Did not. They play on here as Schramm goes back and then tries to take it into the offensive zone, but gets stacked up.
Schramm dumps it in. Moore giving chase. Held in by Towie, at least temporarily, with her skate. Again, Moore on the forecheck. And Hopkins content to just ice it to get a change. That was a good penalty kill, especially the second half of that, John. It was down in our offensive end, carried over even after the penalty was out.
So terrific by the penalty kill skaters, just terrific by Megan Delarwell. Those two shots there at the end, one was a glove, and right after that was the blocker. So using both hands to keep what looked like real strong possibilities for goals out of the net there. So two successful kills so far this game here, and they had a shot on goal, even though they were shorthanded.
Oh, and there's another penalty on the trip. I feel like, John, we see one of these every game where it's truly like a player's going for the puck, and like the opposing player just trips over the stick trying to get clear. I mean, I guess that's technically a trip, but I don't know. I don't like those calls.
It's one where the ref probably feels we have to call it because clearly a player tripped over, but it's not,
I suppose,
a desperation, or it's a clean play. Wow, nice save by Megan Delarwell, but it does pop out. Hopkins Park looked poised to score. She was able to save it. They get an upper corner snipe and take a 2-1 lead here with 12 seconds into the penalty here. Hopkins Park on their third power play finally able to strike. It's 2-1 Royals over the Jaguars.
So not only credit to Delarwell, been playing awesome, made that first save. That was credit to Marshall, was the one who actually cleared that puck out. I was sitting there about to be tapped in by Hopkins. Marshall tied up the forward, cleared it out, but that shot from the point, you could maybe even hear that on the mics. Went off the pipe. Off the draw, Towie tried to get a shot, had DeVos in front. Now she's behind the net, but gets taken off the puck. Hopkins breaks it out. Here's the aforementioned 36, carrying it through the neutral zone. Tries to toe drag. Now how is that? They did call it.
They did call
I'm going to say that feels like the same play there
Although
John, not intentionally.
The other referee who had
who was
the better
closest.
view did not call it. The one who was kind of behind the play did call it, thank goodness, because that would have brought a well-deserved protest from Coach KP. But so for the first time this game, we have the Jaguars going on the power play, and we have a lot of support for the Hopkins Park goaltender from her penalty killers, telling her to hang in there, and we'll see what happens here as the puck is dropped.
I think this is the first power play opportunity of the game. Moore got that puck while on the ground, managed to keep possession of it as she stood up, but that's cleared all the way down. Lindman's going to chase back to retrieve. She's got Keith first and Moore out with her. Passes to Keith, going the opposite direction. Keith gets it ahead to Moore, does not get a touch on it though. That's going to be icing. So minute 30 here. This is we've talked a fair amount about offensive draws. Not been our strong suit this year, John. I think we're probably well below 50%. And this type of a situation, this is important. Win this draw, otherwise they're going to kill another 20 seconds batting it around.
And they do indeed win it. Goes back to Lindman behind the net, and she'll try to help set up here.
Lindman gets it to Moore. Moore's got first with her. Moore cuts to the middle, trying to set it up in the zone. Tried to get it to first in the middle, but lost it. And here comes Park picking up speed. Gets around Janzig De La Luz. Lindman's back though. Sharp angle shot, save, gobbled up. Every one of their shots, John, has been waist high, or they are clearly going high with their shots.
That was a really nice play by number 29, Kern, for the Royals there. She was able to get control of it deep in her defensive zone, and carefully, but not overly quickly, because she was trying to kill some time, skated it all the way down to about the top of the circle. Sharp shot. Of course, Megan DeLarwell was equal to it, as she has been on 19 of the 21 that she has faced here. But an offensive opportunity while they're on the penalty kill.
And Hopkins won that draw, John. Dumped it behind the net, created a scoring chance. That pass is intercepted, at least, or knocked loose, forces the offsides. John, this, I don't know, new sound system. The volume is definitely higher than I recall, making it hard to hear ourselves talk to each other in between play here.
No doubt.
Might have to ask Lenny to dial that in a little bit.
One of the many improvements here at the newly renovated Bloomington Ice Garden, where we're playing on the newly named Rink 1, used to be Rink 3, for those of you who for years had cognitive dissonance coming into the rink, where it was 3 to the left and 1 to the right. But for those of you who have not been out here, a great time and still time tonight to come out and enjoy the varsity tilt at 7. We'll bring it to you on the broadcast, but it would be great to come out and support the team as well. But get out here at least sometime, because they did a really nice job with this facility.
Jefferson having a tough time this game, John, manufacturing scoring opportunities. Not something we're accustomed to seeing. In most games, we've had plenty of shots. We're sitting with 1 minute left in period 2, John. We have 7 shots total for the game. I mean, that's like a low number for a period in a lot of the games we've called. So with the power play expiring, I don't know, maybe Jefferson got 1 shot on that power play, John?
I think 1 indeed, yes. So, and they're trying to get it back into the offensive zone. They got to tag up here, and weren't successful, so offsides. They'll have a draw right outside the Royals offensive zone here. 39.7, Jags down 2-1, 3-1 in terms of a shot ratio. 21 for Hopkins Park, 7 for Jefferson Jaguars.
Let's see if we can get one more good shot here in the last 40 seconds, John. Off the draw. Both teams being very physical on the draws, John. You can see the centers seem content to tie each other up, and the wings are sort of fighting to get to the middle. That's going to be, well, knocked loose at the blue line. Here comes Hopkins. And there's Hopkins with a trip right before Hopkins netted a goal. So 34 is going to get either a trip or an interference. I think she went and apologized to her line mate there for taking a goal off the board.
Fortuitous turn of events there for the Jaguars. Not only did they wipe that goal off the board, but they wiped a player out of the ice here for 2 minutes or shorter if we're able to score here. But we go on the power play. If we're not able to score in the next 18 and a half seconds, we'll begin the third period with an extra skater advantage here. And it looks like
Hopkins wins that draw, though, ices it all the way down. That's probably going to chew up the 18 seconds we had, John. Marshall's got it, tries to get it ahead. That could very well go for icing the other way. We'll get a defensive zone draw with 1.3 seconds left.
And that doesn't seem like a lot, but boy, you've got to be really on guard with 1.3 seconds left, because if they're able to win the draw, as they often have, it just takes one sharp shot. So an important face-off here.
On the draw, the Voss just content to tie up the opposing center, and that will get us to the second period break. So, John, we go into the third period here, trailing 2-1 on the scoreboard, down 21-7 on shots, and that was taking a third goal off the board there in the last 50 seconds. Like I said, Jefferson's going to have they got to figure out something here to generate more offense from what we've been seeing.
Well, the ice clearing break couldn't come at a better time for them. They'll be able to take a rest. They'll have faster ice after it got chewed up with these two periods, and they'll begin with a minute 42 power play here in the third period. So you and I will take a break, Ryan, rejoin the broadcast then. 2-1 Hopkins Park over the Jefferson Jaguars. You're listening to Jefferson Hockey.
All right, we are back for the start of period number 3. Jefferson trailing on the scoreboard, 2-1, but probably fortunate to be a little bit in that position, John. Being outshot 21-7. Megan Delarwell, probably her best game to date, John. Not only has 19 saves on those 21 shots, but several really spectacular saves. I mean, these aren't pucks, floating in from the blue line. I would bet you 80% of those were earmarked for a corner, and she's getting blockers, gloves, helmets, toes, everything on them.
Several sequential saves on some of those exchanges as well, Ryan. And so she, as you mentioned, has really been on her game. Very impressive. And the Jaguars have needed her because it's a 2-1 score, but 3-1 shot ratio. As you mentioned, 21-7 so far. Jags will try to get a little bit closer here, and it's most important dynamic, of course, even it up on the scoreboard. And they will have a relatively better chance of doing it because they begin with the minute 42 power play after the penalty to the Royals right before the end of the period here. So Jags will begin on the power play. They'll begin with a very fresh sheet of ice that probably will be moving much, much quicker than the end of the chopped up second period here. So away we go, and Jags will try to get some momentum back.
I do not detect number 36 out there for...
She just walked behind us right as you were talking in her socks. So clearly her skates are off.
John, if Hopkins is one of those programs where maybe they have like
some numbers challenges,
26, and they sort of just rotate through 2 periods here, 2 periods there, and a bunch of players play both games.
She looked like a varsity level player, and we mentioned her multiple times on the broadcast. And as I said, as you said that, she walked right by us. So very well played by her. We'll see her in the varsity game here. But here in this JV game here, Jags trying to get in business on the power play.
As John alluded to, Jefferson starting out on the power play here. Trying to gain the zone there, but it's cleared down. Keith's going to get to that puck first, but under heavy pressure. She does a good job corralling it. Comes around the net looking for an outlet pass. Tried to find DeVos, but a little too far for her. So that'll go for an icing. Looks like Jefferson's going to change out at least the forward lines.
Minute 8 remaining in the power play here for the Jags, and players coming around and telling Megan Delarwell they got her back. She certainly had theirs tonight here, but they have a defensive zone draw. They win the draw here and try to bring it into their offensive zone, but St. Louis Park intercepts.
So going back to get it is Schramm. She's going to circle, tries to get it up ahead to Moore, succeeds. Moore's going to swing wide, gets around that first defenseman, tried to get it in front. She had Towie there, but couldn't quite get it across, and then passed it back to Schramm. Schramm couldn't handle that on the backhand. Mendo retreats, picks it up below the goal line. She's going to come around the net, looking for an outlet pass. Tried to get it to first, couldn't handle that, but it comes to Towie. Towie lost it in her skates. We saw this a little bit the first few minutes of period 1, John. Just the puck seemed to be bouncing around on us. Couldn't get a clean stick on it.
Might be the fresh ice. It's moving faster.
And again, the puck's knocked loose at center ice. Fresh off the bench, Keith's got it. Almost runs into her own player there, though. Drops it back to Mendel. Mendel tries to hit DeVos. Now it comes Schramm, nice indirect pass. DeVos over to Tyus. Tyus 3 whacks at it.
A fourth,
but the goalie kept strong.
Yeah.
Good pass for DeVos there. And a really good pass from Schramm. Off the boards, found DeVos. Best scoring opportunity we've seen in a while from Jefferson there, John.
Great perseverance by at least Tyus, but the goaltender equal to it here. And Jags try to set up, but of course it's even strength now. Penalty has expired.
And I think 34 was the other number you had mentioned in periods 1 and 2, John. Just about picked Mendel's pocket there.
But this is her third period here, so if she does play varsity, it might only be 1 period there, whereas Ensley, the number 36 we mentioned, only played 2 periods. She might play 2 of varsity. The way that the rules work in terms of how much time you can spend on the ice in any one given night.
Hopkins dumps that in deep. Ends up back on the blue line. Lost that temporarily. They throw it behind the net. Moore's going to retrieve, but she's on her backhand. Lost an edge. She went down. No contact. Slowly getting up. Puck's in her skates. She's trying to protect it looks like. Succeeds in dumping it back for Towie. Towie gets it up to First. First going to try to get it back to Towie. Towie off her skate. Poked free. Should be no icing. Moore chases hard into the corner, but immediately tied up. Stick held. First back there now. Moore's going to come away with it. Again, back behind the net. Good patience. Oh, and then the centering pass. All that work, John, and then whiffed on the centering pass. You can see her shake her head frustrated. Gets to First trying to get it across to Moore. But the back checker intercepted that at the last minute.
Jack's putting on some pressure here, Ryan. But
now Hopkins carries it out, gets around Feldman. Comes across the blue line, keeps back. Got to step up forward. Backhand just shot wide. This forward line's been out there for a little while now, particularly Moore in First. Clearing attempt fails. Feldman goes behind the net but loses it. Hopkins cycling, dumps it into the corner. Centering pass, finds the stick. That was a hard centering pass though, John. Kept in again. Marshall gives chase. She's going to come away with it. Going to try to get it ahead to First up the wall, but under pressure. Spins out of the corner. Keith's there. Moore's there. Comes all the way around. That shot rings wide. Jefferson in desperate need of a whistle here.
Very nice cycling move by that.
And there's the goal on a good one-timer, John.
Indeed.
That was a fatigue goal. You could just see we lost gas. We couldn't keep up with the moving puck. Hopkins goes up 3-1.
And I was mentioning the good cycling move by number 6. The puck eventually ended up on number 7, Williams' stick. She was able to push it in there at that point, but good offensive pressure by the Hopkins Park Royals. They take the 3-1 lead. Jags try to get it back here. It's a good face-off win and an offensive opportunity.
Oh, and DeVos single-handedly stepped around the center off the face-off draw, stick handled right to the front of the net, and tried to go upper corner and just missed that net wide. Really good individual effort from DeVos there.
Absolutely here. Jags looking to control it here, goes to center ice, and we're going to get
they're going to get DeVos for a slash.
Yeah.
They're going to take both of them, actually.
Yeah, I think indeed he's pointing to both of them.
So. DeVos did slash her, and then she retaliated and took her down.
So offsetting penalties here. And
offsetting
slashes.
Penalties are tougher for Jefferson with only 6 forwards, John.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to pull one of those D up to fill in DeVos' slot here.
Looks like he called them both for slash, is what he's indicating to the scoreboard operators here. So 5-on-5, but you do have 2 players in the box here. 10:08 remaining in the third period. Hopkins Park with the 3-1 lead and a 22-11 shot differential.
Off the draw, Lindman tries to get it up to Tyus, but can't get it out of the zone. Comes to Janzig. Dana lose her clearing attempt, held in. Ooh, far post shot, just zips wide. Moore succeeds in clearing it ahead. Tyus gives chase, tries to hook that puck free, but defenseman holds strong on it. Keith can't handle it. Tyus still with momentum. Whoa, lost an edge there. Went hard into the boards, but she bounces back up after dumping it in. Now Tyus ties it up, comes back to Lindman. Lindman's shot stopped in front from a defenseman's stick. Hopkins comes out of the zone. They dump it in deep. Looking for a pass in front. They come around. Tough angle shot into DeLarwell's midsection. She absorbs that. We'll get a defensive zone draw here.
Nice positioning by Megan DeLarwell there. Anticipated where the shot would come from. Had the corner sealed off there. Makes the save. Her 20th of the game so far. 3 goals for Hopkins Park Royals, 1 for the Jags.
Wilmington's got one too many skaters out here at the moment, John.
They're going to call someone back here. Coach KP waving. We'll see what happens here. It looks like Moore's going to head to the bench.
I think they sent Lindman out because Allie Moore had been filling in for 2 straight shifts there because we have a forward in the box. So my guess is Lindman's been moved up to wing at least for one shift here. On the forecheck. That was first. Comes back. Lindman, who I think is playing forward, but retrieves to cover. She goes D to Mendel. Mendel finds Schramm, cross ice. Schramm carries it in, protecting the puck. Gets to Towie. Towie in the corner. Tries to center, but not enough on that to get it there. Schramm had snuck in, trying to get an offensive chance. Mendel goes D to Schramm. Schramm looking up ice. Finds Towie. Towie with the puck. Loses it. Gets it to Lindman. Lindman, it's tied up in her skates. Comes back to Mendel. Mendel content to just dump it in deep. Second clearing attempt. Held in by Lindman. Towie's going to retrieve. He's got skaters in front. Centering pass. Moore tried to get a shot on it, but that was poked into the corner by the D. Good use of the skate by Mendel temporarily, but here comes Hopkins. 2-on-1 opportunity. Number 7, who scored the last goal, backhanded it just wide. Maybe looking for her offensive counterpart to poke that in. Moore succeeds in getting it across the blue line. Here comes Lindman, filling in at forward. She goes into the corner, stays on the puck. Centering pass went through Moore's skates.
Nice back checking by the Royals there. Had 4 players collapse on her.
Mendel dumps it in deep. Here comes Hopkins the other way. I think the penalties have expired, but they can't get out until there's the next whistle. Cross ice pass finds Keith. Can't quite control it, but succeeds in pushing it below the goal line. Hopkins makes a move, breakout attempt. Finds the far side wing. Good back check there. That was Mendel hustling. Oh, and that just an unfortunate bounce. I don't know if that kicked off the wall or...
It did in back of the net there, and all the momentum was going to Megan DeLaro's right. She was right to position there, but it just kicked away.
It literally
a goalie
like
wouldn't anticipate. A ricochet
hand
almost.
Of God directing that puck there, John. Came right to the backside post, right on her stick.
Yeah, no doubt.
The whole net to shoot at that point.
You know,
we're now down 4-1.
Jesper Wallstead would not have had a chance on that one.
No.
That was an odd kick off the back wall. Unfortunate bounce for the Jags. So 4-1 now.
That was that Cowboy Jack's devil horn back there. Bad luck, John.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So you're gonna have to look at that one. So right after that, a nice sharp low shot, very well handled by Megan there. So terrifically positioned, able to keep another one from going in. But time is ticking here. 6:48 remaining in the third.
Jefferson running out of time here, and we've only got 11 shots in the game. It's just been extremely difficult for Jefferson to generate shots in this game. So
that's not what we would have thought the first minute or so of the game when we scored on the first shot. But yeah,
here comes DeVos. That ends up dropping to Towie. Towie tried to get it to first.
Nice pass.
Unselfish play.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought they called no ice, but a puck race there. Fortunate for the Jags. They did give us the icing call. So we're down to 6 minutes. We only got 11 shots. So making up 3-goal deficit might be tough here, John, but maybe let's try to get a little momentum going into Saturday. See if we can get another goal here and at least make it interesting for the last few.
Face-off will be taken by Taylor Keith, who crouches low, looking to move it back to Elise Tyus or Allie Moore, who she's flanked by. We have Feldman and Marshall on the blue line.
Keith wins that draw. It went to Moore on the sidewall. She rings the boards to Tyus. Held in by Marshall, at least temporarily. Tyus does a good job disrupting the breakout attempt. Ooh, there's some punches thrown there.
Yeah, I'm surprised the referee didn't catch that.
And the bench screaming in Tyus' ear. I don't know about that one, John. I don't dig that. No. Coach reprimanding a little bit. Appreciate that. Here comes Hopkins the other way. Ooh, good centering pass there. 7 moves to the front. Yeah, they're gonna get.
Might get a tripping here. So yeah, 7, one of the previous goal scorers, who's having a very strong period here. We'll have to see if we see her in the varsity lineup here. But the Jags are going to
inside there, and Feldman just trying to knock the puck loose, took out her legs.
So the Jags will go back to the penalty kill here. They killed off the first two. The Royals were able to score on the third power play. This is their fourth. We'll see what happens here. 5:41 remaining in the game in the third period, and 2:55 here on the penalty kill.
Hopkins holds the zone. They're going to carry that behind the net. Centering pass, hit traffic. It's sitting loose. Cleared by Lindman. I don't think any shot got on net there, John. I think that puck was just bouncing around and snuck free in the blue.
One did just get through there in a nice stick save by,
that shot hit the pipe.
There, yeah, hit the pipe there. So Megan getting tested and so far equal to it.
Hopkins just buzzing now, John. You can see they're sort of energized by that fourth goal. Centering pass, it's sticked loose, still loose, cleared out by DeVos, and she gets it free.
Three players sprawled, including the goal, as well as the goalie there. So 4 on the ice there. Megan somehow kept that puck out of the net. Great job by her.
First did a good job forechecking, but an aggressive play by the goaltender, John. Came out and passed that ahead. DeVos has got it now. She's going to carry it out. She's been out there for 1:10, a penalty kill, though. She's probably tired. Dumps it to first. First, good job just throwing that on net. Gets a cover. We'll take that offensive zone draw. Give 4 fresh penalty killers out. Good hustle there by that first unit.
Royals goaltender realized that the Jags were getting a little bit of offensive business going, even though they're on the penalty kill. She decided to cover so she could get fresh 4 or fresh 5 out there with their. They have 5, Jaguars have 4, but they do have an offensive zone draw here. They're looking to position Allie Moore. She's going to stay where she is.
They're kicking out the Hopkins face-off circle for the wing not following instruction well enough. That's one back to Moore. Moore goes across to Schramm. Schramm shot just wide. I think the goalie might have been screened there, John. Good shot, good play. Oh, dangerous. Puck floated right into the crease. Towie tried to get a hack on it, but couldn't quite get it on net. Moore, that rode the rail around a little bit. Comes out to Mendel. Mendel throws it in off a pair of skates.
You know, this is all happening shorthanded here, too. So Jags looking very aggressive.
Oh, Schramm just lost an edge there. Here comes 2-on-1. Mendel back. Play in the middle. Good shot. Rebound loose. Still loose in the slot. Chipped in front. Now covered.
Great job by Megan DeLarwell there. She made the initial stop, gave up a rebound. That's certainly going to happen. Didn't move her head, kept her eyes totally trained on it, got back on her feet and controlled it there and made yet another save here. You could hear up here, Ryan, the referee yell loose because she hadn't covered the puck yet, which I think is a good signal to the players that they can keep going at it. But eventually Megan got it covered and kept the puck out of the net here as we get a badly need clear. And an end to the penalty kill as well. It'll be 5-on-5.
Off that draw, Towie did a good job tying up the opposing center. Moore comes spinning around, ends up on Schramm's stick. Centering pass right on DeVos's stick. How did that not sneak in the far side post?
His number 34 on Hopkins Park, 24, came in. She made the save, not the goaltender. She made the save behind the goaltender. Very nice job by her.
That was a beautiful pass by Schramm, finding Towie on the far side post. And Towie got an excellent first shot, then chased her own rebound. And to your point, John, I don't know how that didn't go in. Good play by whatever defenseman there was there.
Number 24, and great job by her. And Jags, even though they may not come ahead in this game, they've had a strong last 5 minutes or so.
They have. They've been playing better here.
And the puck hasn't gone in the net, but they've definitely had some opportunities here, and there's been more play in the offensive zone, even though they were on the penalty kill for a while.
That puck comes out to Mendel. Mendel tries to get around the forecheck. Comes back. Schramm's going to pick that up. She cycles. Finds first. First goes cross ice. She's got Keith with her. Tyus on the far side trailing. Drops it to Keith. Keith saw Tyus, but lost the puck a little bit. Now centers it. Tyus is tied up in front. Hopkins is going to pick that up with speed. Just tries to dump it in. Turned back by Mendel. First has it on the sidewall. Gets it to Schramm. Schramm right up the middle. Tried to make a move. Lost the puck. Going to end up again with first. She's pinched along the boards. Succeeds in dumping it deep. We're down to the final 2 minutes of the game here, John. Still trailing 4-1. But Jefferson, to your point, playing better the last few minutes here. Had some good offensive zone time. Again, still not able to get shots on net, though. Dancing along the line is more there. Takes a Hopkins glove with her, still fighting for the puck. Finally on the third defender. They steal that, but now it ends up on Moore's stick again. Tries to get to the middle.
Nice pinch by Laney Schramm to create that opportunity. But here comes Hopkins looking for their own. Laney Schramm with some good hustle back, too, as well.
A physical play in the corner.
Yeah, that was almost a checking call.
Comes ahead to Moore. Moore again gets rubbed along the boards. Loses it temporarily. DeVos dumps it deep. Here comes Hopkins the other way. We pulled the goalie, John. So that's where first came out with the puck. Jefferson's got to be aggressive here. No use laying back. Oh, and
big collision.
We're going to get a 6-on-4. It looks like Tawi got taken down hard in front of the Hopkins bench.
Yeah, she went straight back.
A little slow to get up, but she's hopped back up.
Yeah. To the bench, though, deservedly. He's arrested a little dangerous. And penalty on Olsen for Hopkins Park Royals here. So for the remainder of the period, we will have a
I wonder if we don't take
here.
a timeout here, John, just to sort of get organized on who we want.
So she is about to, because they are trying to figure out.
Ellie Moore a little confused.
Yeah.
The ref's telling her you got to get off. Too many skaters. Didn't realize the goalie had been pulled.
So 6-on-4 here.
Oh, good pass there, but just Feldman couldn't quite connect on it. Marshall diving save.
Marshall may have saved the
Feldman's
goal
gonna
there.
pick
Good
it
hustle
up.
by her.
Now First has got it. Gets it ahead to Moore. Moore enters the zone. Dumps it deep. We're down to 30 seconds here, John. Clearing attempt held in by First. Goes back to Marshall. Marshall succeeds in keeping it in. First is going to spin to the high slot. Throws it in front. Tip attempt by Moore. Doesn't quite connect.
Marshall may have saved 2 solid attempts at empty net goal shots there by her hustle in the defensive zone and then by pinching up the offensive zone. But now it's going to be a 5-on-4 because Elise Tyus heads to the box with 15 seconds remaining in the third period.
Yeah, I think that was just some roughhousing in front of the net.
So goalie's going to come back on Megan DeLarwell because the face-off is going to be
zone draw.
Yeah.
Yep. So 4-on-4 for probably the last 15 seconds here, John. Draw one back. That shot hit traffic. Comes into the corner. Last 5 seconds here. Hopkins trying to get one more shot attempt. It comes out on a stick. Low shot, good blocker save. Or good pad save. The 30th shot of the game, John.
She had blocker saves, pad saves, glove saves, stick saves. She had a really, really strong game, but unfortunately for the Jefferson Jaguar JV team, she comes up on the short end of it. Hopkins Park Royals 4 and the Jaguars 1. Shots were 30-13 in favor of the Royals, Ryan.
That was that's about as tough a game as I think we've seen this year, John. Reminder, we scored our one goal 30 seconds into the game.
On the first shot.
And from that point forward, outscored 4-0, outshot 30-12. That was, and it didn't feel that lopsided in terms of play. It was back and forth, but we just could not get pucks to the net throughout that whole game.
We were in the penalty kill 4 times as well.
That's true.
To the Jaguars' credit, there was only 1 goal scored on them while they were on the PK, and they actually got some good offensive opportunities while they were on the PK as well.
I'd also point out DeLarwell played really well.
Absolutely, yeah.
That score could have been a little worse than it was if not for some big saves.
Well, not only big save, but often several in succession, as aforementioned, and where the pressure just kept coming, and she kept coming back up and making the stops here. One of the goals was a ricochet, as we mentioned, off the back wall that no one, I think even the goal scorer, anticipated, and so she had a half-empty net to put it into at that point. But a great game by her, good hustle by the entire team. Jaguar JV team will try to go get them on Saturday against Chaska-Chan in the afternoon. That's a noon game, I believe, and we will bring you that one. That is at Chaska-Chan.
JV only. No varsity
JV only,
game that day.
And this is a replacement game because, again, New Prague no longer has a JV team here, so we're playing a few extra JV games as we played on last Tuesday against Chaska-Chan. Again, we'll have them again Saturday here, but we'll be back much sooner than that at 7 o'clock for the varsity game. You and the voice of the Jaguars, Kurt, will bring us that game as well, and we want to thank our cameraman, John Woodford, here, and Ryan, thank you.
All right, thank you.